B, sign this signage.
Paul, go sit down on the agendas.
Doesn't look like there's any
I know, I don't.
Already?
Yeah.
This needs to be signed for anyone present, and then just pass it around and back to the table.
Okay, need the approval of minutes, December 27th,
with the minor change.
Yes,
with a minor change. There was,
you were here in spirit.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
motion? Andrew? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. New business, general municipal law, section 239, referrals, town of Farmersville.
All right, first of all, I'd like to welcome all our guests back from last month, here again. This is the proposed local law, wind energy facility law for the town of Farmersville. It completely replaces local law number 1 of 2007 and local law number 1 of 2009. As you remember, last month, we had some ambiguity on the seeker form that we wanted cleared up. That has since been submitted and cleared up, so that part is taken care of. What I want to point out tonight is the county passed in March of 2016 an update to our comprehensive plan that was actually a couple decades out of date. It should be updated more often than that. That comprehensive plan was Vision 2025 Comprehensive Plan, moving Cattaraugus forward. And like I said, it was enacted in March of 2016. As we look through this, one thing kind of stood out to us, the 33% increase in the allowed height of the turbines from 450 feet to 600 feet, we feel would have a significant intercommunity impact on neighboring municipalities and is inconsistent with the goals and objectives in our comprehensive plan. Goal number 1, which we've had meetings over the last 20 or 25 years, meetings around the county to get ideas from our residents, what they like about the county. And almost the number 1 thing we hear at all those meetings is Cattaraugus County will retain its vital rural character. So that was goal number 1. The objectives under that, protect the natural beauty that makes Cattaraugus County the land of the Enchanted Mountains, and recognize the importance of communities, farmland, forested land, scenic vistas, and other elements of county life that contribute to the county's rural character. We're looking at it from an intercommunity impact, so not so much what happens in Farmersville, but what happens in the neighboring towns and communities. And we feel this increase in the height of the turbines is significant and may have an impact just beyond Farmersville. Like I said, it was an unlisted action. The full EAF has been submitted. We also have had some discussions back and forth about whether a full EAF is enough or if the town should actually prepare an environmental impact statement. So after my recommendation, I'm going to have an advisory that's not binding, that the town look at preparing a full environmental impact statement. So based on the things I mentioned here, the staff recommendation is disapproval. And let me explain that one point further. This is why the county doesn't have a lot of impact on these things, because the town can still proceed if they if they have a supermajority vote. So that's a majority plus 1. So if you have 5 members on the town board, you'd have to have 4 of them vote to, and then they can proceed without the county recommendation. So I just wanted to explain that further about what disapproval means. It doesn't mean the whole thing goes away. It's what the town decides they want to do. So that's the staff recommendation.
Okay, is there a motion to that effect? Al, second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay.
Thank you.
uh,
Thanks for protecting us.
So
Town
you're all welcome to leave if you want,
Okay.
but don't stay full of it.
And if you leave, you just have to leave the building.
We can't stay
You
in.
can't stay in the hall. You can either stay in our meeting or you can, yeah.
No opportunity to representative of the people for putting on the agenda to speak.
We did all that last month, Mike. We had a lot of discussion last month, so that's the reason we decided just.
Could I ask a favor of you all?
No, we're limiting our discussion.
We're moving on. Coming out of it?
But this is not anything more about the winter.
Nope.
That's correct. Item on the agenda.
Okay, let's proceed. Town of Ellicottville, special use permit, site plan review, use variance.
This is something new to us. Actually, I'll have Pat explain a little bit more about it. He spent more time pouring through the box of stuff we got on this. This is at 6081 Route 219 South and 6505 Donlin Drive. It's a special use permit and use variance. The applicant, Verizon Wireless, wishes to mount microcells on a pole at Donlin Drive and on the roof of the Inn at Holiday Valley. It was explained to me that what these, they're like a mini cell tower, and they're directional. So if you picture the Inn at Holiday Valley, they're gonna aim it up towards the slopes and the lodge and all that, so they can, they give more capacity to the cell towers, increase the capacity. They're treated as co-located telecommunications facilities. Prime reason for these installations is that there is a high level of demand in these areas, and in order to provide adequate capacity, the microcell will offload some of the demand to the macrocell system, which, and I'm not familiar with it, there's a tower on Bartlett Hill over by Ellicottville, and that's the main tower. They would take some of the demand off that tower. These were really a relatively new thing. This was Gary Colombo who did the review on this, and he was asking me what I knew about it. So it's a,
How much coverage will that go to downtown Ellicottville?
well, I'll explain a bit here further.
Okay.
This is two of them. And they're, like I said, they're directional, so they only cover a certain area. I'll pass around this. This is the best I had of what they look like. There's a, like a canister kind of thing on the top of the pole, and then some equipment partly toward the base of the pole. You can see on the left-hand side of that sketch.
So it is very localized, and I had looked at the sketch and I didn't commit to memory, but they have to, in terms of the pole height, so there are poles there now that are, they might be 32.5 feet, and then they'll be replaced with a new pole that might be 36 feet. So they've got, just put a little bit heftier pole there. And then this unit sits right on top of the pole with a conduit that comes down to the switching stations, whatever equipment is also mounted on the pole. So it's very localized.
Doesn't look like it's too garish.
Yeah.
It's kinda-
No, it doesn't, and there are some images, I don't know if what Paul brought shows, does it have the,
36 feet.
He just has a sketch.
there were some images, some photographs, both existing and artists basically superimposing. I didn't see when it went by if it was on there.
No, that doesn't have a set.
Okay.
And the roof mount on top of Holiday Valley Inn is, I believe, I looked at the sketch a week ago or so, but I believe it was 10 feet above the total height, or from where it comes off the roof. So they're not very obtrusive.
10 feet on top of the roof?
I think on top of the roof. On the poles, it's different. On the poles, it was
Right.
just, the pole height is maybe 4 feet higher, and then there's a round unit that sits on top of that. So, let's see, do they have dimensions on this?
They don't have the total height.
And who's the application?
Verizon Wireless.
Verizon.
little bit I read about them, there's, what is it now on phones, you have 4G, they're going to 5G. And I think it's something maybe to do with that, but I'm not sure how it all works together.
Well, this doesn't have it.
That's mostly what they're doing with the 5G, they're going into the microgrid systems instead of the macrogrid. So we're going to have more of these localized units, particularly for cities or high-density populations.
Yeah. That was Gary and I's guess, we're gonna see more and more of these come
Absolutely.
through. Mike probably picked up that a use variance is required. Telecommunication facilities are considered a public utility. Therefore, all the developer needs to show is the need for the thing. He doesn't have to go through the 4-part test for a use variance and that kind of thing, so there's some leeway there for the use variance. My thing as I read through it is, I think the town, and I'll have to get some word out to the rest of the municipalities in the county too, should begin to prepare for more of these types of facilities, such as enacting zoning regulations to address important community issues such as antenna design, location, spacing, additional pole and equipment, and aesthetic requirements. So unlisted action, full EAF was submitted, and public hearing is coming up on, or already was held last Monday in Elkoville Town Center. So the staff recommendation is the proposed action has no significant countywide or intercommunity impact with the following advisory, that the town consider revising their zoning regulations to address facilities such as these.
I'll move it.
Second.
Second, Tina. Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, C, village eligible special use permit use variance.
Yep. Mechanic Street, Adams Street, Monroe Street, and Market Street.
Same thing.
This is actually just a repeat of the previous one. These are within the village though, so it had to be a separate referral,
So perhaps this is what's gonna cover downtown. See, the reason I bring that up is during Fall Festival, if you're a vendor there and you're trying to use your phone to use credit card, it can be interrupted very easy because there's so many cell phones being used and it really absorbs the bandwidth
It
that's
happens about
available.
between 1 and 2 or in the afternoon
Yeah.
when the crowd is there.
So I'd suggest to the mayor.
Yep. So that's why
Good.
I had to wait on that. So basically, everything is before. Again, the staff recommendation for the village proposal here is the proposed action has no significant countywide or intercommunity impact with the following advisory, that the village consider revising their zoning regulations to address facilities such as these.
Motion.
Move, we approve.
Paul? Okay. Paul and Tina. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, City of Olean site plan review, 1404 Buffalo Street.
This is, current zoning is industrial, current use is vacant. I apologize for not having GIS here tonight. They put in a new computer up here and they didn't put my ARC view on it. So Pat's gonna call Chris tomorrow or the next day and see if he can't install it up here.
Dude left his recorder.
No, I think that's just gentlemen. Is this yours?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
sorry. I thought he'd left.
The applicant wishes to construct a 90-room, 4-story hotel on this previous industrial site. It's going to be Hampton Inn and Suites. This is the brownfield site that they've been working on for years across from the county building, across Buffalo Street. It's the first part of what they hope to be a multi-building development in that area. Building will have a total of 58,447 square feet. Water, sewer, and an access road to the site off Buffalo Street have all been provided. I was assured by the Director of Community Development for Olean that they had provided an erosion control plan, a grading plan, a storm drainage plan, utility plan, and a lighting plan. And like I said, this is the first project in this brownfield site.
That's by Dresser Rand, right?
Yeah.
Backs up right off the exit there.
Mhm. Seekers unlisted action, a short EAF was submitted. Public hearing is not yet determined. Staff recommendations and proposed action has no significant countywide or intermunicipal impact.
Okay, motion?
So moved.
Jim?
Second.
Any discussion? Silent. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And I'd just like to point out too, in that area, they already have the solar farm that's kind of off to the side of where this building's gonna be. They're working on the one on Homer Street now, and it's, if you ever get a chance, you can see that one much better from Homer Street. It'd be worth the drive down just to see how many panels they're mounting in there. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed the fact that they reclaimed that land and they're doing something with it.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
really, it's great that they were able to mitigate the problem.
And that, the one on Homer Street was also a brownfield site too, and
Right.
that, Mike John Painting has 3 or 4 buildings he's constructed there now too, so it's quite the business he has.
Good.
Okay, environmental reviews, we have none?
None.
Okay, environmental reviews.
Intergovernmental, there was 2 of them came in, they were both, the Chautauqua County, I think both of them were Chautauqua County Airport, a perimeter fence and rehabilitate one of their runways.
Okay, any old business? Seeing none, or reports. Chairman's report. Last week Monday, I returned from New Orleans in California. Wish I was back this week. It's been a brutal cold week, and as all of you know, I guess we escaped the brunt of it, the brunt of the storm. And, so I guess we can be thankful for that. It's interesting to watch the temperatures on your automobile as you come from West Valley to Little Bell. Start out at 4 and go through 0, and you come through -1, -2 to get here. So I guess my report is the weather. Okay, election of officers.
I think sometimes we forget to do this each year, but I remember this year.
That's because Florence isn't here, see? She told me I had to do it. And I had to wait a minute. I was her assistant.
So can you check with everybody tonight?
Yeah, everybody that's doing it now is gonna keep doing it, right?
Sure.
All right, that's who I nominate.
Okay.
Yeah, that was quite a run through.
Make a motion to do all that.
Yeah, we need to
Yeah.
make a motion to accept the.
I better make the motion then, you know.
Okay, second. Dan, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Chris, we'll wait for Chris to be back. Comprehensive plan.
Okay, so we have one application from the Village of South Dayton. They're applying for $563 for Blazing Barrel project. They're gonna be putting barrels on certain places in their village. I believe it is Park and Pine Streets. So I'll send a little map around. The red dots are where they wanna put these new barrels. We cannot, through the Community Revitalization Fund, we can't pay for any of the flowers or mulch or anything, but we can pay for half of their barrels. So that,
Just half barrels?
well, half of the price of their barrels. So we just need the okay from you guys to fund that.
The barrel's the easy part.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And they had a write-up, they have a bunch of the businesses that are gonna work with them and plant the flowers and water them, so
That's the real hard part.
that is the hard part,
Somebody
keeping
to
them
water
going.
them all. They do look nice in the community though.
Yes, they do. So hopefully there'll be 20 of them, they plan on
20?
20.
A lot of plants there, Chuck, you ought to bid
Yeah,
on that
I'll
one.
rush right in and get that. There you go. Okay.
Um,
We
Trails in.
Well, I need a
You need a motion for
motion.
that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
You need a
I
motion?
do.
Yes, we
I
do.
do so move.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion.
Jeff.
Second.
She didn't have a price on it yet, though, did she?
On the barrels,
Yeah.
she got them, they're from Lowe's, I believe. She sent me the price sheet.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter what it is.
$569.
Yes, that's half of it, so it's 1,000 for 20.
Okay. Paul.
Paul and Jim?
Any more discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried?
And just to let you know, this one will be coming up soon. Portville is going to be, I'm working with them to put in a grant application. This, I believe, is gonna be $800. They're going to put 2 of these kiosks in their main streets. They sent me most of their stuff except for the budget, so I emailed them today to get the budget, so hopefully next month we will have their completed application, but I just wanted you guys to know what's coming down for them. And that is it for the for community revitalization. There's my notes. All right, yes.
You want to keep going? Trails Initiative?
Yeah, I'll just keep going and then Crystal can fill in after me, is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So the Trails Initiative, the next countywide trail meeting will be February 21st, here at 7 o'clock. On the agenda, we're gonna be working on the prioritizing of the current list of trails to GIS with the ARC funding that, we hopefully will have in the, spring, summer. We're also gonna, begin the discussion on the signage system that we want to develop for all of the trails in Cattaraugus County. And, Paul had sent me an email that he received from, I believe his name is Alan Kirschlacher. He's from Pennsylvania, but they had a great idea that Crystal and I are going to discuss with some of our partners about having a Western New York, Northwestern PA regional trail summit to try to get the ideas going back and forth between, both the Pennsylvania and New York. He's got tons of ideas in here, and basically the theme would be connectivity. But like I said, we just got this on Monday. They're talking about at least a 2-day training with lots of, there's a lot of people in different workshops to go to. So we'll have to see where that goes. But it's something neat that we can look into.
What was the date on the trail meeting here?
Pardon me? The 21st.
21st.
Yes.
Thank you.
And then Land Bank, we just did we're close to getting done with our first funding, which is the LISC funding. So for the proposed parcels for the last 2 years, we were proposed to have 19 acquired. We actually acquired 29, and we have completed 12 dispositions. We've done, 4 rehabs, completed 4 dispositions for rehabs, which our proposed goal was only 3. For the demos, we proposed 9. We have actually acquired 20 different properties and completed, as of right now, we have 9 with another 10 for round 2 and round 3 to go. So we're doing pretty well with that. We've definitely surpassed all of our proposed goals for that, so hopefully we can do the same with the new funding that starts July 1st. The ARC grants, Community Development Grant, final report went in today, but we'll still be working with the municipalities on their community visions if they would like to, if they'd like to do that. We're also going to be holding quarterly trainings for such things as the Community Revitalization Grant, Consolidated Funding Grants, Grants Gateway, anything that has to do with grants to the municipalities as things come along. We'll try to help them through those processes. I think that's it.
Okay, good. Crystal?
I don't really, guess I have.
Nothing in the record?
No. It's a farmer neighbor game, it's not on here.
April 10th.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's
Go ahead.
Okay, training?
I think they got left on by mistake. I think I talked about it last month. hopefully handed out sheets, so you know, some of you have already completed your training for this year already, so just, I'll keep you posted if anything comes up. And
Yeah, I thought you said that there was gonna be some of that online in January. Oh,
December and January. yeah.
well, January's over, so.
Right.
There was a piece of paper that had that
Yeah, there's
information on it,
A couple on solar.
Yeah.
Teleconference.
Where did it come from? I didn't get one.
part of the state.
Handed that out.
I thought I handed it out.
You did.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
you did.
Yeah, in
Last-
December, I believe.
I didn't get one, huh?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Must be.
Okay.
That's all.
Right in a minute.
There's no more coming now, or you don't know?
Mike didn't get the memo.
Ah, well, give me an hour for it anyhow. Is there any more coming?
Not through
Not
that.
through that. All right.
I said I periodically get stuff, and I try and pass them on whenever I can.
Okay.
Okay,
Bob, Southern Tier West?
The annual local government conference I mentioned last month is scheduled for May 9th. It's a Thursday this year, so keep that in mind. We're used to having it on a Wednesday. But it'll be May 9th at Houghton College. And the agenda isn't ready yet, but there's some more training right there if you want. If you go, you could actually get 4 hours if you spend the whole day there. You could probably pick up your whole 4 hours if you do the different planning conferences that they have. On February 19th, there's going to be a Powers and Duties Seminar for newly elected and incumbent local officials. It's a Tuesday, February 19th, 5:30 registration, 6 to 8 p.m. is the actual conference itself. And it is going to be at the Southern Tier West Center. It says Salamanca BOCES Center on the flyer that comes with it, but that is the Center for Regional Excellence on Route 219 there in Salamanca, at Southern Tier West. And that's all I have.
Okay. Members forum. Paul?
Not today.
I'm not being rude, I'm just answering some questions.
I figured I'd wait till
I'm good.
Nothing, thank you.
Bob?
Nothing here?
Nothing.
Nope.
I'll just add that the request for proposal for the update of the Cattaraugus County Agricultural and Farmland Protection Plan is out, and we have a date of February 7th to receive them, so see what happens with that, and that's the funding that Ag and Markets has for updating that plan. So this is largely aimed at being an economic development plan, rather than cows out of the creek kind of plan, but so just giving you the update that that's where we stand with that project at this time.
Anything?
Correspondence and upcoming meeting is next, and on the back, you'll notice that we received from the town of Allegheny, the special use permit 3015 near State Route 417. That was the subway that we had the guests here from last month also, and they had the public hearing. And I think, from what I read in the paper, the only thing they decided was they wanted to enclose the dumpster at the back of the lot. So everything else, I guess their fears were allayed, so.
Okay, next meeting is February 28th.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Oh, well,
You want to put an article in the paper, our farmer neighbor dinner is April 10th, it's always a Wednesday. There's apparently confusion throughout the county. Right, Chuck?